And we're live. Fantastic. Hey guys, hey
Awesome.
everyone. I'm here, Mick, together with Billy and Chani from Way You Believe, WYB. And they've set up a great project, guys, are to basically uh, gain support, get community involvement, help basically make this idea reality. And the idea is really getting this bringing kind of the pop mainstream community within the K-pop and beyond, uh, uh, together with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin closer to the K-pop uh, music industry. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that as well. But basically, it all started with a tweet, right, that Shani sent out on Twitter about getting this about this idea, right, which was basically we want volunteer singers who advocate for Bitcoin all over the world. If you're interested, please come together and we'll create a Bitcoin version of We Are the World, tagging
Yes.
all these awesome Bitcoiners. And then someone in the thread said, "Hey, why don't you create a project on Geyser?" Then we got connected. You guys launched it, and also to see you guys are already on Wav Lake, integrating the Bitcoin ecosystem, and it's just such an interesting thing, right? Because you guys come from the very real, from my understanding, Korean K-pop kind of scene, but you also are Bitcoiners. So I'm curious to hear how you guys came into Bitcoin, but also you're bringing those two things together, which is something that guys we see happen actually all the time. We see people that are passionate about football and passionate about Bitcoin bringing the two together, and we see people that are musicians or filmmakers and are also interested to Bitcoin bringing those two things together. And that's what you guys are
Yeah.
doing when it comes to K-pop, but like at a very high level of experience and professionalism. So that's super cool to see. So I'll stop here. I'd love to hear about you guys. You know who you are, where you're from, what's your background, and then we can talk about how you guys got into Bitcoin as well.
Sure. I can go first, or
Yep.
so basically, I don't look like a K-pop star, as you can see. I'm not. So I'm from South Korea, but I actually studied in the U.S. Worked in Silicon Valley for about 5 years. I got into Bitcoin or blockchain in general back in 2017, just because my friends in the Valley are so interested in blockchain, and it's like a new thing that you have to study. And I was actually studying artificial intelligence and cognitive science in school, at the university. And I was not really interested in blockchain at the time because I thought it was just like, I don't know why people are so hyped about a distributed database system. I'm like, okay, this is not that interesting to me as an engineering student or as a science student. But I actually got into Bitcoin more as I heard about it over the years, especially 2019 as I graduated from college and started working and got into personal finance and investing. And in around 2020, you remember that there was a bull market and everybody was having fun. But at the same time, I was in the US. There was a, presidential election between Biden and Trump. And I was like, well, no matter who's going to be the president, they're going to print money. And I was like, as a stock investor, is it okay? Is it safe to just invest in like one asset class, which is equity? And the answer was no. And I actually first I was really big fan of Robert Kiyosaki. And back in 2017, as I remember, he was not into Bitcoin at all. He was like, Bitcoin is a scam. It's like, it's bad for you and whatever. And then he changed his mind around 2018 or 2019 ish. And I didn't really follow him at the time, but he really got me into, hey, actually, there's the asset class that is hard. It's a sound money and all that. And Bitcoin Standard really gave me the aspects of, oh, this is the fundamentals of economics theory and all that. As a science student, I was not really into economics at all. So I was like, I was a little bit, there was a learning curve definitely there. But Michael Saylor really got me into Bitcoin as well because his description or sort of the way he talks about physics and Bitcoin really got me into thinking about the energy concept of energy and all that. It really got me into Bitcoin around that time. So I'm pretty newbie, but Chani is really the K-pop legend in or he's not he's very humble, so he doesn't want to call that way. But yeah, maybe Chani, you can go next. Yeah.
Okay. Before we beginning, uh, I'd like to mention that I'm not still fluent in English, so uh, uh, there's a lot of possibility that I may make mistake that lead to misunderstanding. So I kindly ask for your patience and understanding in case I make any errors. And if so, please let me know.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
no problem so far. That's for sure. Thank you so much. Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, I'm Baek Chan from South Korea. I'm a music producer and composer, and I've been working in the K-pop industry for over 15 years. And now I have transitioned from musician to Bitcoiner. so, so I'm currently working on a Bitcoin music supergroup charity project called WYB, and that's why I'm here. Uh, you know, and uh, my Bitcoin journey started in 2017. The YouTube trend had started in 2017 in South Korea, and a video appeared on my feed, and the video was by Andreas Antonopoulos, and that video really touched me. And I was looking for more information about him on YouTube, and ended up I bought his book up, The Internet of Money and Mastering Bitcoin. And he was my first teacher for Bitcoin, and that was my beginning of Bitcoin journey. And there are a lot to study to understand Bitcoin, right? And I think if you understand Bitcoin, don't study Bitcoin at first. I think if you really understand the Bitcoin, you have to know around the Bitcoin. so so I studied money and fitness and war and energy and cryptography and how the internet works. Yeah, there were a lot to study, but now I advocate Bitcoin in the K-pop industry, and I'm running my Bitcoin node. And I love Nostr as well, so I'm running a Nostr private relay. That's it.
Super interesting. So you have transitioned to kind of being a Bitcoin advocate in the K-pop industry, and
Yes,
is that
right.
what you're right? And at the same time, I hear you advise a lot of these important K-pop groups as well.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah, he
incredible. Wow.
produced many songs for the top tier K-pop mainstream musicians. Yep, and it's really great to have Chani here in the Bitcoin industry or community. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
fortunately, I have multiple number one hit songs in South Korea, both of a singer and a composer, thankfully.
That's incredible, Shani. I will just plug in just my family who's big fans of K-pop and actually got me
Oh, really?
a bit like I think it's interesting because
Really,
both
Gummy.
K-pop
Oh,
uh,
okay.
both K-pop and Bitcoin have these like evangelicals, like super passionate people, right? And so my
Yes.
mother, my aunts, my some of my other friends were like, you have to listen, you have to watch this. So actually, I got involved in a few kind of K dramas. I can't remember the exact name for them. I'll have to dig them up, but they're incredible, like really good quality drama and shows. So absolute respect for the culture that comes out of Korea these days. Um,
Yeah.
really cool. So like really just innovative and always pushing the boundary of what you can do with VR or what you can do with um, it's the new technology. It's just really like like a fulcrum of culture. So amazing, good work. Um, so yeah, so all right, so you guys got into I understood a bit of your background, and then how you guys came into Bitcoin a bit, and how did you guys meet each other or come together in your journeys?
Yeah, so we actually met. So I actually have a personal YouTube channel. I happen to speak both languages, Korean and English, fluently. So I actually translate a lot of contents, or I read a lot of Bitcoin related stuff, and I translate that to my audience in South Korea. And Chani was one of my subscribers, thankfully, and he subscribed to my newsletter and my sort of like BS YouTube channel that I actually talk a lot about Bitcoin, because my ex-girlfriend at the time, she was so tired of me talking about Bitcoin all the time. When I first got into Bitcoin quite a lot, especially during pandemic, and that's how I have to release my energy. And yeah, Chani reached out to me, say, "Hey, I'm a big fan of you." And I was like, "Oh my God, he reached out to me." He's like one of my idols back in like middle school. I listened to his music all the time. And I got so excited. He reached out to me on LinkedIn, actually. "Hey, I'm actually Baek Chan." Okay. That's like, I'm like, okay, great. It's like a Billy Joe asked me, "Oh, I'm actually Billy Joe from Green Day. And hey, I'm into Bitcoin. Yeah, would you like to, be part of it?" I'm like, "Sure, let's meet."
Must have been surreal.
Yeah, it's a very surreal experience for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And cool. And so you guys have been working together since, or what's been the partnership like?
Yeah, so we actually been working together so we didn't really work together at the time. Chani and I have this philosophy of Bitcoin: don't trust, verify. So we verify constantly before we, Chani actually came and visited me in April in the US, and we stayed together for a month for this music project, WYB, Way You Believe. And I got involved in writing lyrics, and that was an interesting experience as a non-musician and as a non-artistic person. And it really that's how we kind of like start this project together and how we work together. It's only been like two months for now, but it seems like we've been working together for 2 years or more. Yeah.
That's incredible. So let's talk a bit about why you believe. So, which is a
Way you believe.
pertinent way you believe. Way you believe. Okay, not why.
But why you believe sounds good too. Yeah. Why do you
Yeah,
believe?
like-
Why do you believe?
Yeah, that's good.
That's actually a good one. Yeah, maybe we
Let's
should
change
actually
it.
have a T-shirt. Way you believe, why you believe.
Oh yeah, good.
Because Bitcoin is a bit. People say don't trust, verify. It's not about belief, but at the end of the day, you believe. Bitcoin, it's not because you don't trust anyone, and then only that allows you to believe it. But belief is an emergent property, right? As you guys know. So why you believe is interesting as a question, actually. Thinking of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how did the why you believe kind of get started? What triggered you guys to actually go ahead and do this? And maybe this leads to a little bit like Korea and where Bitcoin and Korea and Korean culture come together, and if they do, yeah.
Yeah. In March, I visited to Vietnam to attend a Bitcoin Lightning conference, and I met Jimmy Song in there, and thankfully we had a lot of conversation. So and he said he was planning to visit to Korea, so we met again in South Korea. We had lunch and coffee time. And during the coffee time, he showed me a kind of music video that he participated. Like he sang a song. Actually, many other Bitcoin speaker or influencers participated in that video. And okay, I watched the video and everything was good, but I thought music was a little lacking. So I asked him, "Oh, who made this song?" And he said, "This song was made by amateur." So I searched Bitcoin song and Bitcoin music on YouTube, and there were a lot. And the videos were funny and cool, but I thought these contents cannot be popular in outside the Bitcoin community because because yeah, I thought we need well-made Bitcoin song. Yeah, and as I said, thankfully I have experiences that multiple number one hit songs. So I think I know the way to make hit song. So
Definitely.
I have to make a, well-made Bitcoin song, and there was an idea on my head. We Are the World project. You know the project. We are the world. We are the children, right? So I thought, okay, I have any special power, but if many Bitcoin singers or Bitcoin speakers get together, and we can have a very huge power. So I thought, okay, if I could create a song as form of donation and donate the revenue from the song or use it for Bitcoin ecosystem, it would be cool. So, so I told this idea to Jimmy, and and Jimmy and his wife said, "Wow, that's a great idea. Do it, do it, do it." So I wrote this song. I wrote the song "Way You Believe." It means Bitcoin changed the way you believe, and to start this project, I thought, okay, I need Billy to make this project globally and communicate with all the Bitcoin speaker or singer and influencer. So I called to Billy, hey, let's get started.
Yep, that's how it got started. Yep.
That's fascinating, and I love that question because I often ask this question to many people that come on our show, and we ask them like, okay, how do we solve the problem? How do we communicate something as complex as Bitcoin to the world? How do you do
Mhm.
that, right? And and I think the answer that comes out more over and over again um, is well, the answer is that there's many different ways to do that,
Mhm.
right? You need people on the ground that are teaching people how to run a node. You need
Yeah.
Bitcoin schools to do that. You need, people doing art on the street and triggering people into thinking about Bitcoin differently. You have so many different things, so many different avenues that and everyone's important. But to reach scale, to help
Mhm.
people like to reach scale, you need a meme, and the meme of culture is the most powerful, and the meme of music is the one that resonates probably the most out of them all. But then even then, how do you do that, right? Because like you said, there are so many music songs about Bitcoin, but are for the Bitcoin community. They're niche. They're like full of Easter eggs that only Bitcoiners will understand. So I want to hear from Shiny and Bill as well. And maybe tell us a little bit about how you thought about how do you translate Bitcoin in song to people that don't understand it. And you mentioned the We Are the World. Um,
Yeah.
how
Mhm.
were you inspired by that to take the leap to make the transition to Bitcoin and explain Bitcoin?
I thought we need a song for not only Bitcoiner, both the Bitcoiners and non-Bitcoiners. So this song's lyrics is quite easy. The lyrics is like this. Okay. We're gonna sing this song here for everyone. Bitcoin changed the world and the way you believe, way you believe, way you believe. Change the way you believe. Yeah, and the verses lyrics is here is time to ask a question that you never asked, and the question's answer and the question wasn't answered before 2009. There
Beautiful.
is no words any decentralized or crypto or property or
We try not
right
to use
or
that word. Yeah.
gold.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy, can you speak
Mhm.
more about this?
More about
Yeah.
that. Yep.
I love
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try not to use the word like decentralized, all these technical words. We
Yeah.
actually try to use GPT-4 to ask a bunch of questions. Oh, if you were us, how would you write this song? And it keeps popping up decentralized and
Oh
distributed
no.
ledger. I'm like, this doesn't sound right. So it was really, I think, your panel talk in Bitcoin Miami with you and Carla actually really inspired me, saying, hey, we actually need a lot. So we need to think about next billion users, right? MBUs, who's coming to this scene. And Chani was really like relentlessly, when we try to come up with the lyrics, he's like, we should not use even the word Bitcoin. We should use the word that everybody uses. And that's how we kind of came up with these lyrics. And thankfully, Swan Bitcoin's Corey liked the song. He said Bitcoin does change the way you believe, and I heard that Jimmy's daughter actually loved this song as well. So I guess we got some approval from from these people. So I'm actually really happy that it really resonates with even like a young child to somebody like Corey, who's in, I don't know, he's like older than most of us, I guess, here. So yeah, I'm really glad that everybody loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is incredible, right? It's such just 4 paragraphs, like just a few sentences. You're able to distill the key purpose of Bitcoin, which is really about changing the way you believe, which is the transformation that Bitcoin enables. And yeah, you're not talking technical. You're just saying Bitcoin changes everything, right? Changes your perception, changes how you see the world, really, right?
Exactly. Yeah, Chani really made me think about this thing because, and for both of us, Bitcoin was not. Bitcoin was starting point of questioning everything that I believed or we believed. Like we believe in paper money, right? Fiat currency. Nobody questioned about money at all. Like I never questioned about it until I got into Bitcoin. I never really questioned about how all this like banking system works. And like when I look at it, I'm like, oh, there was this thing called 1971. There was this thing called gold was money, and I was like, I never really thought about that. And like I told you that I was into Robert Kiyosaki's book Rich Dad Poor Dad back in the days, and then I read it, and some people kind of like blame him on all these different things. And I thought that he's sort of like a scam artist, I thought. And then I got into Bitcoin. I realized, okay, Robert is right. Actually, Robert is 100% right. I'm like, okay, yep.
Totally. Yeah, that's something that it's natural to think that these people are just crazies, right? But this is where you guys are translating a powerful message and kind of creating that almost opening the door, right? You're sort of opening the question. Okay, what question that I'm never asked should I be asking? It's
exactly
incredible, really interesting.
Yeah, and we try not to we try to give more space for our audience to think about their own situations or their own questions they answer before they got into Bitcoin. Just because we don't want to just directly say, oh, this is the way you think, and that's it. We don't want that. We want to be as open as possible. So that's why we said the way you believe. It's pretty vague, but like I guess that's how we kind of like make sure that audience get engaged and they really love this music. Yeah.
That's so important because in Bitcoin, especially the niche Bitcoin community has these like, very, very specific, okay, should be this way, right? And it's often been trial and error, but it feels to someone on the outside feels limiting. It feels like it's prescriptive. Instead, you guys are saying Bitcoin, in fact, opens the world in different ways. And who knows what sort of new belief system it can emerge for anyone. And it's a personal journey as well, right? It's about you.
Yeah.
It's empowering to each individual. Incredible, really interesting. Very interesting.
Chani really is like got me into like, this is the way we should write about this. I'm like, okay, sure, because I was more of a math guy, so I'm like, okay, let's talk about decentralization. But what's that idea? Yeah,
this is how we communicate this to 7 billion people, right?
Exactly, next billion users. Yep.
Fantastic. All right, so what's next then? You guys you've released a song on Wavlake. And maybe actually we can quickly, although we heard it live from Shani himself, so maybe we don't have to listen to it again. But what's the yeah, sort of what's the next steps? Where are you at now in this production?
Yeah, just to be sure, we haven't released the official version yet. It's a demo guide version, so we actually
Gotcha.
need a lot of we need a lot of singers. We actually got some interest from Stefan Rivera, who sent us his singing voice. It was great, actually, by the way. And
Wow.
we got some interest from Titina, and we got some interest from Vivian, and like many like Bitcoin influencers out there who are very interested in this
Yeah,
project. And just to be sure, this is not officially released yet. This is a demo version. We need a
got
lot
it.
of singers, volunteers to promote this idea to happen. That said, I think Chani is working on the music side more often, and I'm more working on this sort of like the project side more often. So if you have any like interest about like how can I get involved in this project, you can actually DM me at you see the handle right there on Twitter, BJUNJO. You can just reach out to me there. Yeah, and yep, there we go. Yep, that's my yep. I have the Nostr as well. If you're interested, just DM me there. That's how you can get involved in this project if you're interested in becoming a singer or like promoting this project better, and just let us know. Yep.
Fantastic. And so, what has been the reception like within Korea? Is it something that is, obviously the Bitcoin community is a lot of interest. How, and maybe this leads to another question around what's Bitcoin adoption like in Korea, which we haven't touched on. Maybe we could start with that.
Oh yeah, we actually have a really strong niche like community in South Korea as well. For example, we actually started this Lightning initiatives. So there was this cafe near my hometown. This owner started this sort of Lightning movement. Doing this wallet of Satoshi, installing wallet of Satoshi, and just getting all this payment through Bitcoin. That was like a big sort of like a starring fire for this movement. Besides that, there are many like Bitcoin early adopters who translate a lot of contents into Korean, and people consume a lot of those contents and getting into Bitcoin. And I'm also a YouTuber and I guess like a micro influencer on Twitter space. I try to explain about Bitcoin through like very unique situation that South Korea is in. We have the North Korean issues. So we saw the war in Ukraine and Afghanistan and all that. I'm a former Marine, so I'm very into geopolitics and like national security, et cetera, et cetera. And I kind of like persuade a lot of Korean fathers, hey, what if there is like emergency, like how you're going to survive with your family? And I think the answer, well, I know the answer, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say it's a Bitcoin, but like think about it. Think about that worst case scenario and just plan ahead so you don't have to worry about. Because like when I moved here, like when I moved back here last week or 2 weeks ago, there was a siren going on because like North Korea was shooting missiles on the sky. So really
Oh
everybody was.
shit, man.
So I think Bitcoin has a unique like a property, especially for South Korean community, and I think it's our mission to spread this word as much as possible in this in this like a neat community. So that's the that's the main thing, main sort of initiative that's going on. Yeah.
Cool. And Chani, what are your thoughts on that in terms of adoption in Korea? Are there many meetups coming up? Is it more kind of crypto interested or Bitcoin, or where are people at these days?
Everywhere is crypto in South
Yeah.
Korea. So
Yeah.
it's hard to convince Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be a long term thing, right? Yeah. Even
Yep.
yeah. Most places
But
in the
we
world there's
we do
Web3
have
and all that stuff.
we do have Calvin Kim, for example. He's actually a very technical leader in this Bitcoin core development. He actually got funding from Human Rights Foundation for building his
Interesting.
open protocol, and he hosts a meetup every month, I believe, in Seoul, and a lot of people get involved in this meetup. We speak English in that meetup, so anybody can join us. I believe one of the Bitcoin PMs, Andrew, e-currency money, I think e-currency hodler, I think that's his handle. Anyway, Andrew came and met Chani that we met in Miami,
Yeah.
and I thought that was really great meetup to join if you happen to be in Seoul. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool to know there's some meetups happening in Seoul as well.
Mhm.
That's really interesting. And so, yeah, how has it been? Has there been any reach into the community, when it comes to the song or these types of initiatives?
Yeah, Jimmy really like pushed Chani to build this project, and Chani and I were like working together to spread this word, and we really want this project to be like like communal, sort of like we are the word like project. So we want to have everybody be in the same studio and just like doing all this bunch of like recording and all that stuff. But we're not as wealthy or as famous as all those people, so we can't. But we try to like gather as many like producers, as many people who can promote this idea. This is a long-term project, so this is not just a short-term project and like done with it. It's a long-term project, so we need a lot of volunteers to at the moment we need a lot of like producers, and we need a lot of volunteers to promote this idea. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I
Well, hopefully there's
imagine.
many people listening and they'll reach out
Yeah.
saying that they're interested.
Mm. I imagine, first of all, I'm gonna complete this song and with many Bitcoin singers or Bitcoin influencers, and then I can imagine a lot of languages version. Yeah, Japanese version, Korean version, yeah, Thai
Thai
version, Vietnamese
version. Yeah.
version. Yeah, yeah, it can be over 20, right? And I can imagine electronic version or rock version of ballad version where you believe because because this is charity project. I think it's gonna be possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We try to be as open source as possible, so everyone can chip in and just like do their part. And we hope that, let's say there's a Bitcoin conference in Thailand, they sing their own version of What You Believe, and
Yeah,
then
because
maybe
this
in
is super
UK,
group project.
yeah, it's a super group project. So we try to make sure that this is not our individual project. This is a project for. I know it's hard to say, in especially libertarian Bitcoiners out there, but yeah, we try to be as super group as possible. Like we're the word project. Yep.
No, it's the vision is impressive and really interesting. There is actually a talent conference coming up in July, so next month.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
if we'll have a time to make the song by then, but no,
Yeah, I
the
think
point
we're.
stands, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're thinking of going there, so try to
Well,
meet people in Thailand.
I'll see you there then.
Are you,
I'll
are
see
you
you
coming?
there. I'll see you in
Are you
person.
serious?
Yeah, I will be there.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
good.
good.
Okay, Nick. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's great.
Well, awesome. Well, yeah, that'd be fantastic if we can
Hey, are
sing
you a
that
good
already
singer?
there.
Are you a good singer, Nick? We need your voice too.
Unfortunately, I'm very sorry to disappoint you, but don't have
Uh,
much skills in that. But yeah, who knows?
yeah,
Maybe I'll get involved in some other way.
Stefan Libera is
Yeah,
going
he's going there.
is going
Yeah.
there, right? Yeah. So and Stefan sent me a DM and he said he was a good singer and he sent me his singing video. so
It was fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, that was really a great. Yeah, it was really great. But We Are the World project gathered many top artists, right? Top artists in the world. So they fly to recording studio. So they recorded a song a 1 day or 2 day. But it's hard to do that for us, right? So
Yeah.
we have to record through the Zoom recording, or if we have a chance to meet
Like
we
let's
have
say
to
in Thailand. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
conferences, that's a great idea. That's right, because Bitcoiners really meet up in these central, these
right.
meetups that happen all over the world. That's a
Yeah,
great
so I'm,
idea.
I'm gonna bring my laptop and small equipment like condenser mic and headphone. And actually, I'm not just a singer or composer. I'm half of audio engineer. So
Perfect.
I can record and mix it. So I'm gonna bring my audio gear to uh, Thai conference, and I and my some friends made a non-profit organization for Bitcoin adoption in South Korea, and the organization's name is Backer, Backr. What was
The
the
Bitcoin Alliance.
Bitcoin Alliance? No, I can't remember. I'm
Korea.
sorry. And the website is
Yeah.
Let me read it out for you.
backr.in.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
backer.in. And we
Okay.
are trying to host Bitcoin only conferences in South Korea. So if it would succeed, yeah, success, and if we could invite a lot of Bitcoin speaker from all around the world, I think we will be able to record in South Korea with many Bitcoin speakers
That's
and
incredible.
singers.
When is this happening? I haven't heard of it. The Bitcoin
so
only
when it's
conference in
happening,
Korea.
so we're planning on doing it around end of October-ish, I believe, or November, I think.
Yeah, on
That's what we're
November.
trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Fascinating.
we try to
Exciting.
invite as many influencers out there to. Actually, I talked to Natalie Brunel. Natalie, hi there. Uh, during the Bitcoin Miami, and she was so super into this project and Bitcoin music and Bitcoin only conference in South Korea. And Jimmy is also the advisor for our group. It's called Bitcoin
Fantastic.
Advocacy of Coalition in Korea, Backer, Backr. And
Yeah.
yep, there we are. And I'm not there yet, but I will be. But
Yeah.
yep. So one of the project,
Amazing.
yep, we're doing is Bitcoin only conference in Korea and the way you believe. Yep. Mhm.
Super cool. Super cool. Super cool. Wow. Um, well, you guys just said a lot. I'm trying to forget. I had a question there regarding the. Yes. So you guys are. It makes so much sense for you guys to do what you're doing, which is approaching Bitcoin influencers to kind of be close to the community, gather the community, right? Galvanize the community to help. But what are your thoughts on also engaging people outside of the space, like mainstream singers, to play the song because they may also have bigger reach? What are your thoughts on doing that? The pros versus cons.
Yeah, actually, Chani and I are talking about that over beer in Philadelphia quite a lot for a month.
Yeah.
Like, how can we attract these mainstream artists? Because we asked except Michael Saylor, I think I asked every influencer, do you happen to know any mainstream singer? Like,
Right.
I asked like Robert Breedlove and everybody, like, do you know anybody? He's like, what kind of question is that? Anyway, so, but
Yeah, isn't that fun? There's almost this gap, right? It's a different world
yeah.
that we just are not connected to.
Yeah, I know. Charlie actually had this theory. It might be because we are all so serious. We are so serious beings. Like we're like, oh, we have to
We're
study Bitcoin and
nerds.
all
We're
that.
not.
We're
We're money.
nerds. That's
We're
why.
money geeks. Like, who would want to
Yeah,
hang out
money
with us?
geeks.
We're not the cool kids here, guys.
But I mean, like Carla from Crypto Couple, like, I think Walker they're great. I think
Yeah.
I really resonate with like your panel talk in Bitcoin Miami creator economy with BTC session span, and really got us to think about how can we onboard these next billion users. And actually, if this project becoming successful, we hope that this might be a good opportunity for, let's say, really big name out there who happen to be a Bitcoiner, but he or she is not really willing to try to speak up. Maybe it can be a good project for him or her to, hey,
Yeah.
actually, I'm into Bitcoin, and maybe that might be a good way to start the boot run. Maybe in after the all the 2024 all that stuff, And so that's why we need a lot of like people's like a participation to make sure that this new big name in Bitcoin, like maybe Kanye West, who knows? You know, he might be into Bitcoin, who knows? But
That's
like,
true. Yeah, he's
yeah,
controversial figure, but love his work for sure. But definitely.
Yeah, or like I don't know, Taylor Swift. Like we really love to have her, but
it's almost like they have to come to you though, right? Because you could reach out to all these people, and well, first of all, they probably want a lot of money for it. They probably wouldn't also understand it. Like for example, you had all these brand partnerships like with Cristiano Ronaldo and Binance, and you have whatever the American football player and FTX. So it's
Tom
like
Brady.
Tom Brady, right? They're all been scared away by crypto, and rightfully so. So you need those people now that understand that Bitcoin is different and want to put their energy towards an open source charitable initiative, and ideally they come to you, right? So just keep doing your work, like I said, like long-term project, long-term thinking. Keep getting the work there. They will come to you, I think.
Yep, definitely. Actually, it's so funny that you talked about football player. So we happen to met, former Arsenal player. He actually, we met him in Miami. What's his name? Kieran Gibbs, and then we met Kieran at a bar in Miami, and and then he's like, actually, so that's like the public figure who's into Bitcoin, who understands Bitcoin pretty well. So, and he loves to come and visit us in Seoul, South Korea for the conference and all that. So we try to make this as as public as possible. That we definitely need a big name out there who happen to be a Bitcoiner but pretty shy, maybe understand Bitcoin pretty well in his or her community, but like don't really want to speak up. So we're here for you to just you can be the big part of this, and then we can spread the word out there. Yep.
Absolutely, humble beginnings, but hard work and passion and talent, which you guys obviously have. Very impressed with the song and the idea and the vision. So very bullish on this project. So good stuff, guys. Are there some things that we haven't mentioned about it that you think is worth mentioning in? Can't think of.
Charlie, do you have anything? We cover quite a bit. Just to be sure, this is a long-term project. As Mick said, it's a humble beginning, and I think Geyser is just like the fantastic way to avenue to kind of like spread the word. We're here out there. At the moment, we need a lot of people who can produce this project together. We need a lot of builders. We need a lot of builders who can promote these ideas and build this project and things like that. We also need a lot of, we need to figure out the way to record all these different, recording from different influencers. So we try to go to Thailand, probably Austin, to Jimmy actually invite Chani over, so like it's like, oh, we gotta be there. And Chani is actually speaking in Indonesia, so if you happen to be in Indonesia in October for Bitcoin conference,
I'm gonna bring my laptop and mic and headphone.
Everything.
I'll use a triangle, maybe, if you guys don't mind.
Triangle, definitely. We need everyone's help for making this project. And I think we saw a lot of great talent, like Samson, for example. Samson Mao, he's really great at playing the guitar or bass, I believe. And if you guys are interested in it, just let us know.
That's incredible.
We're always open. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I saw you had all sorts of guys involved. Right, you had Joe Nakamoto is also playing in Prague. All sorts of incredible musicians in Bitcoin. That's cool to see.
Nice.
Can't say I'm one of them, but I do enjoy listening to you guys. And
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think also like we can talk about the long-term future of this project. We need people who can produce music videos together. There are really a lot of talented people out there. So we also need to make a lot of swags out there for Way You Believe and all that stuff. we try to actually make as much money as possible so that we can give it to the Bitcoin ecosystem. So this is not just a song, but we hope this is sort of like the way you believe, the way that influence people out there. I think music is the way that I learned English, for example. Like music was the gate, like it has a power to unite people around the world. And let's say if you happen to speak like Swahili that I don't speak, or like, I don't know, Indonesian that I don't speak, and you can write a song and you can just, mix that stuff. And, this is we hope that this project lasts for decades and decades so that it's not just like a 1 year thing or like 2 or 3 years thing. Yep.
That's super cool. And yeah, like a lot of music is really even these popular songs are like a pump and dump scheme. They kind of just pump it for an event and then you forget about it. This is a long term.
This is great because Chani actually, I mean, it's a personal story from Chani that I know a lot, but Chani really got sick of like a mainstream industry because it's a pump and dump, like sort of like music.
No way.
So he's like, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this forever. Just writing a song for some new K-pop groups. Just like, I mean, he can do that for a living, but like he wants to contribute his time for timeless things like Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah. Mission is important, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
and Bitcoin is my mission.
That's incredible, man. And I guess it resonates with a lot of people. The fiat miners out there. That want to still contribute towards Bitcoin in some way can do that in so many ways by even just supporting you with sats, contributing as singers, as musicians, and so many other things out there. So I think we will win like this. We will win through the bottom up way, the sort of the work we're putting in, and just putting the word out there and slowly spreading the message, the sound of Bitcoin. The sound of Bitcoin, right? Sound money, the sound of Bitcoin.
Sound of Bitcoin. That's actually well said. The sound of Bitcoin. Yeah.
Do you know do you know why it's called sound money? Because if you back in the day, you could hit a gold bar and it would make sound, and so you call it sound money. Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
So the sound does have I don't know what the sound of Bitcoin is. Maybe the sound of miners.
Yeah. Sound of miners. I honestly think that the property of sound, like physics-wise, it's just really interesting to me, and how they apply to money as well. Yeah, definitely.
How do you think about that then in the context of Bitcoin and? The interesting connection, right?
Yeah, I guess the Chani probably make you as well. I think we all nerds. We are interested or curious about many things, and that really got people into Bitcoin because it's intersection of everything. It's like all roads lead to Bitcoin for some reason. It's like a Schelling point, and I think I study like cognitive science, which is based off, like psychology, linguistics, and like computer science and anthropology and stuff. And that sort of training that I had at university level, at bachelor's level, that really got me into thinking about Bitcoin quite a lot. And Chani as well. Chani, I lived with him for a month, and he's a very like, I know, like, you think that he's like a K-pop, like a idol person, but he's actually pretty nerdy in a good way, by the way. A very like focused. I think he should study programming, in my opinion. I think he could have been a really good programmer too. Yeah.
I see this so often, right? The Bitcoiners have this like a very wide breadth of knowledge, but also curiosity. And I would probably also say are not just people that memorize things or don't like to be told what is true or what is not true, but they sort of want to find out themselves. Like they're a little bit defying authority.
Quite disagreeable. Quite
disagreeable. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's a fascinating group of people. That's why it's in some way we come from many different countries. We have very different starting points in life and also different educational backgrounds, and yet somehow, like you say, the roads converge towards Bitcoin, and we meet similar-minded people in some way. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think your talk in Miami really inspired me to kind of like contribute to this community as much as possible. Because I mean, everybody has a gift, I believe. Everybody has gift for speaking their own language, maybe Portuguese, maybe Spanish, or anything. We can contribute to this like Bitcoin open source project, not just as a programmer, but as a content creator. And your talk with Carla and Ben really got us to think about, or at least for me, it was like so inspiring to me. And thank you so much for that talk. It was really great. I hope it was recorded, so
I know. I'm so
anyone
waiting
can
for
find
it
on
to be
YouTube.
out.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you, thank
definitely.
you. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. The guys are doing incredible work, and yeah, the idea that everyone's a creator, right? Everyone can create content and make a difference, and provide value, and receive value back is gonna it's gonna change everything.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think we're coming from South Korea, just like the Luna coin country, right? I think
Right. Oh no.
we try to as much as possible we try to spread this idea of Bitcoin a lot, just because
Uh-huh.
there's so many scams out there, and
Mm,
we hope that this music can be a good sort of starting point for these people. It's not just for the Bitcoin community per se. It's for the next billion users who actually
Hmm.
do have to know Bitcoin. Maybe they're going through some geopolitical crises in their country, or like they're going through some personal finance crises going on, or something like
right.
that. I think that's really important. I think Carla really speak up quite a lot about that, and that's why hence the name is Crypto Couple, not Bitcoin Couple. And I thought that was
Hmm.
so inspiring to me personally. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely, man. Um,
Mhm.
Loved it, guys. It's been absolute pleasure. I want to give you guys the last chance to, yeah, where people can find more about you guys, the project, and yeah, any final words.
Yeah. Any final words for me? You can find us on wyb.so, or you can also go to Geyser Fund. You can just type in WYB, W as word, and Y as young, and B as boy. Yep, there you go. Yep. So just reach out to me on Twitter. You can find me at DJUNJO. If you're interested in participating as a singer, or I don't know, guitarist, or I don't know what Chani actually wants for music side, but just people who can promote this idea. We'd love to have you. We also try to go to many podcasts, so we spread this idea of WYB, and just let us know if any way that you'd like to participate in this project.
Yeah, and I highly recommend you listening to our project song. And we uploaded our song on Wave Lake Bitcoin-based music streaming service. Oh yeah, this screen. You can listen to it, and uh, uh, yeah, please enjoy it. Please enjoy it. Enjoy us.
Yeah, so actually a lot of people misunderstand this is a final version. As you can see, it's a guide demo version.
Right,
We
right, right,
Yes.
need
right.
Yeah, we need singers. We need many people who can, sing together. So if you happen to be a singer, or if you happen to know a friend who can sing, or who can make music videos and things like that, just let me know.
Yes.
Reach out to them, guys. Go after this. It's a one in a lifetime opportunity to be part of a super group project to change the world through music. This is gonna be a
Woo.
big one for sure. And I often say this to some projects that are on Geyser, and then they're like come in early stage, and I'm like, it's gonna be big, guys. And oftentimes, I'm not even bullish enough to how big it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be one of those
Mhm.
times where I'm bullish, but I need it to be a lot more bullish. So. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing. Really looking forward to see what you guys are up to, what you guys do, and how this project keeps going. Let me know if we can help in any way or do some other podcasts down the line, and whenever there's a new milestone on the roadmap.
definitely.
And
Mhm.
again, thank you guys so much for making it. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you, Meg. Yeah, well, see you in Thailand,
Thank you.
hopefully.
No, oh
See
yeah,
you in
good.
Thailand then, and maybe in Indonesia. We'll see.
But yeah, yeah,
Oh
please sing
yeah,
for us.
We
good.
will in spirit. I
All
will.
right, all right, all right, all right. Sounds good.